ladies and gentlemen, tennis fans around the world, and to every single proud Filipino tuning in today, you're going to want to sit down, grab a drink, and turn the volume all the way up for this one. We have absolute breaking news, and the scenes we are witnessing right now on the ground are nothing short of historic. Alex Eala has just landed in Cincinnati for the prestigious Cincinnati Open, and let me tell you, the crowd reaction was absolutely unbelievable. The crowd went completely, absolutely crazy. We are talking about sheer pandemonium. We are talking about rock star levels of adulation that you usually only see for the absolute legends of the sport. When Alex touched down in Ohio, she wasn't just arriving as another competitor on the Women's Tennis Association Tour. She arrived as a conquering hero. She arrived as the newly crowned champion of the Washington Open. And most importantly, she arrived as the brand new world number 20 in the latest WTA rankings. Think about that for a second. Let the magnitude of that achievement wash over you. Alex Eala is the world number 20. She is the first Filipino player in the entire history of the WTA Tour to ever break into the top 20. The reception she received in Cincinnati today is a direct reflection of that monumental, barrier-breaking achievement. Fans were lining the walkways, waving the Philippine flag, screaming her name, and clamoring just to get a glimpse of the 21-year-old phenom who is single-handedly rewriting the history of Southeast Asian tennis. It is a moment that gives you absolute goosebumps. You can see the sheer joy, the astonishment, and the deep gratitude on Alex's face as she took in the roaring crowds. She is no longer the underdog. She is no longer just a rising prospect or a dangerous qualifier. Alex Eala has officially arrived as a certified global superstar, and the tennis world is rolling out the red carpet for her. The energy surrounding her right now is truly palpable. This isn't just about tennis anymore. It is a massive cultural moment. The Filipino diaspora in the United States and fans from all over the world are rallying behind her in a way that is incredibly rare in individual sports. The cheers echoing through the Cincinnati grounds today weren't just for a great tennis player. They were for a young woman who carries the hopes, the dreams, and immense pride of an entire nation on her shoulders, and she carries that weight with unparalleled grace and a devastating two-handed backhand. Coming off an absolute tear over the last few weeks, this unbelievable crowd reaction is the culmination of her blood, sweat, tears, and an unwavering belief in her own greatness. So, how did we get to this explosive moment? What exactly does her presence in Cincinnati mean for the rest of the tour? And what kind of gauntlet is she about to face as the 17th seed in a tournament packed with Grand Slam champions? Today, we are going completely in-depth. We are going to break down her historic rise to the top 20, her spectacular title run in Washington, the grueling physical toll of her recent 7-match winning streak, an incredibly difficult draw she faces this week in Ohio. Make no mistake, the road ahead is treacherous, but if there's one thing Alex Eala has proven in 2026, it is that she thrives in the fire. Let us dive deep into the phenomenon that is Alex Eala. To truly understand the gravity of this moment in Cincinnati, we have to rewind and look at the absolute masterclass of a season Alex Eala has put together in 2026. This year has been the ultimate breakthrough, the kind of season that tennis analysts will look back on for decades as the turning point in her career. For years, we have known about her potential. We saw her as a teenager grinding it out on the International Tennis Federation circuit, slowly climbing the ranks. We remember the immense promise she showed when she won the U.S. Open girls singles title back in 2022, becoming the first Filipino to win a junior major. We knew the pedigree was there. Being molded at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain instills a certain type of relentless, gladiatorial mentality in a player, and Alex absorbed every ounce of that competitive fire. But translating junior success to the grueling, unforgiving environment of the senior WTA Tour is notoriously difficult. Many prodigious talents fade away. Alex Eala, however, caught fire. The year 2026 has been nothing short of a revelation. She didn't just knock on the door of the elite, she kicked it down. Her rise to world number 20 was cemented by a string of spectacular performances, most notably her historic run at the Washington Open. That tournament was a statement to the entire tennis establishment. Alex didn't just win the title. She navigated a minefield of top-tier talent and ultimately defeated the formidable Jessica Pegula in the final. To beat a seasoned top 10 player, an established superstar like Pegula on American soil in a high-pressure final requires a level of mental fortitude and tactical execution that is incredibly rare for a 21-year-old. Her baseline game was lethal. Her left-handed serve, notoriously tricky to return, was firing on all cylinders, and her ability to dictate the pace of the rallies left veterans scrambling. She became the first Filipino to win a WTA Tour title, a milestone that sent shockwaves all the way back to Quezon City and across the entire globe. Following that massive triumph in Washington, Alex headed straight to Canadian Open in Toronto. Tennis is a brutally demanding sport, offering virtually no time to celebrate. In Toronto, she extended her phenomenal winning streak to 7 consecutive matches, pushing her body to the absolute limit. We watched her battle through the early rounds, including a gritty, hard-fought victory over Katie McNally that showcased her immense heart and refusal to quit. But the physical toll of playing deep into consecutive tournaments on the demanding hard courts of the North American swing is immense. By the time she reached the round of 16 in Toronto to face the Swiss star Belinda Bencic, the exhaustion was evident. Bencic, an incredibly smart and tactical player, capitalized on Eala's heavy legs, and in the Filipina's magical run with a straight sets victory. But let's be absolutely clear, that loss to Bencic was not a failure. It was a reality check of the physical demands of being a top-tier player. It was a testament to how far she pushed herself. She played an absurd amount of high-intensity tennis in a condensed time frame, looking almost on the brink of burnout. And that brings us exactly to where we are right now, in Cincinnati. Alex Eala has had a few crucial days to rest, to recover, and to recalibrate her focus. She has arrived in Ohio with a career-high ranking, immense momentum, and a massive target on her back. Because of her incredible ranking climb, Alex has been awarded the 17th seed at the Cincinnati Open, which is a WTA 1000 event, one of the most prestigious tournaments on the calendar outside of the 4 Grand Slams. Being seeded 17th is a massive advantage because it grants her a bye in the first round of the main draw. That extra day or two of physical rest could be the absolute difference maker for her longevity in this tournament. However, while the seeding protects her early on, the draw that has been laid out before her is nothing short of a gauntlet. It is a terrifyingly stacked bracket, and if Alex is going to make a deep run here in Ohio, she is going to have to earn every single point against the best players on the planet. Let's look closely at her projected path in this tournament, because it is absolutely fascinating. After her first round bye, Alex will step onto court in the second round to face the highly experienced Magda Linette. Linette is a gritty, veteran competitor who knows how to exploit the weaknesses of younger players. It is not an easy opening match by any stretch of the imagination, but assuming Alex's heavy, aggressive ground strokes and her tricky lefty spin can overpower Linette, the difficulty level skyrockets immediately. In the third round, she is projected to face Amanda Anisimova. Anisimova is a player who hits the ball with absolute ferocity. Playing on home soil in the United States, Anisimova will have her own massive crowd support and will be looking to hit the ground running ahead of the U.S. Open. A clash between Eala and Anisimova will be a blockbuster display of sheer baseline power, a true heavyweight bout of modern, aggressive women's tennis. But it doesn't stop there. If Alex survives that test, waiting for her in the fourth round could be the reigning Wimbledon champion, Linda Noskova. Let that sink in. To even reach the quarterfinals, she might have to defeat a current year Grand Slam champion. Noskova is playing with immense confidence and has the kind of all-court game that can dismantle anyone on their given day. And if, by some incredible display of stamina and skill, Alex pushes through to the quarterfinals, who is waiting for her? A highly probable rematch with Jessica Pegula. You better believe Pegula will be out for revenge after Alex snatched the Washington Open title from her just weeks ago. Pegula will have analyzed the tape, adjusted her tactics, and will be highly motivated to prove that Washington was a fluke. For Alex, beating Pegula twice in a matter of weeks would cement her status not just as a rising star, but as a legitimate top-tier threat who is here to stay. Should the miraculous run continue into the semifinals, the final bosses of women's tennis await. We are talking about potential clash with either the world-dominating IGA Swiatek, who is a defending champion here in Cincinnati, or the incredibly dangerous Australian Open champion, Elena Rybakina. And waiting on the other side of the bracket for a potential final showdown would likely be either the powerhouse Aryna Sabalenka or the electrifying Coco Gauff. This draw is brutal. It is a murderer's row of tennis royalty. But here is the fascinating twist in this narrative, and this is what every tennis analyst is quietly discussing behind the scenes. This incredibly difficult draw in Cincinnati might actually be a hidden blessing for Alex Eala. It might just be the silver lining she desperately needs. Why? Because the ultimate prize, the grand finale of the North American hardcourt swing, is just around the corner. The U.S. Open in Flushing Meadows, New York. Alex Eala is currently the talk of the tennis world. When she arrives in New York for the final Grand Slam of the season, she is going to be one of the absolute biggest attractions. Her popularity is skyrocketing. She is going to be plastered on promotional posters. She will be highly requested for media appearances. And the pressure of the massive, raucous New York crowds will be unlike anything she has ever experienced. Managing that off-court circus takes a massive toll on a player's energy levels. She has already played a mountain of tennis over the last month. If she goes deep in Cincinnati, battling through Linette, Anisimova, Noskova, and Pegula, she will arrive in New York physically depleted. An early exit in Cincinnati against a high-caliber opponent where there is absolutely no shame in losing would actually give her the priceless gift of time. It would give her a week to rest her muscles, recalibrate her mind, acclimatize to the chaotic energy of New York, and prepare her body for the grueling 2-week marathon that is a Grand Slam tournament. It is the ultimate double-edged sword of professional tennis. You want to win every match. You want to ride the momentum. But peak physical conditioning is the absolute currency of Grand Slam success. Regardless of whether she lifts a trophy in Ohio or bows out in an early round absolute thriller, the fact remains, Alex Eala is making her main draw debut at the Cincinnati Open, and she will be picking up valuable ranking points no matter what happens. She is solidifying her position inside that top 20, building a fortress around her ranking that will ensure she is seated at the major tournaments moving forward. This protects her from having to face the Swiatek's and Sabalenkas in the very first round of Grand Slams, paving the way for deeper, more lucrative, and more historic runs in the future. Tennis 365. The tactical evolution of her game this year has been incredible to witness. We are seeing a much more mature player on the court. Her left-handed delivery allows her to open up incredible angles on the ad side of court, pulling right-handed opponents completely off the doubles alley before unleashing a devastating winner down the line. Her movement has improved drastically. She is defending the corners with a tenacious elasticity that reminds you of her mentors back in Mallorca. But most importantly, her mental resilience has transformed. When she is down a break, the panic that sometimes plagues young players is absent. She breathes, she resets, and she goes back to her incredibly heavy, high-percentage baseline patterns. She is playing with the tactical maturity of a 10-year veteran, and that, more than anything else, is why she is currently sitting at world number 20. As we look toward the rest of this week in Cincinnati and eventually to the bright lights of New York City, one thing is abundantly clear. We are witnessing the birth of a generational sporting icon. For the Philippines, a country with a massive, sports-crazed population that has long dominated in boxing and basketball, having a legitimate, world-class superstar in the highly elite, global sport of tennis is a paradigm shift. Alex Eala is inspiring millions of young girls and boys not just in Manila or Quezon City, but across all of Southeast Asia, proving that with the right work ethic, the right support system, and an unbreakable spirit, the highest echelons of global sport are absolutely reachable. The unbelievable crowd reaction today in Cincinnati was just a preview. It was a localized eruption of the global phenomenon that she is rapidly becoming. Every time she steps onto the court now, it is an event. It is appointment viewing. The pressure on her shoulders is immense, but if the last few weeks have taught us anything, it is that Alexandra Eala does not just handle the pressure, she absorbs it, and she uses it to elevate her game to heights we have never seen before from a Filipino athlete. Whether she sweeps the floor here in Ohio and takes another WTA 1000 title, or whether she takes a hard-fought early exit to rest up for a massive assault on the U.S. Open, her legacy for the 2026 season is already cemented. But knowing Alex, knowing that competitive fire forged at the Nadal Academy, she isn't looking at the U.S. Open just yet. She is looking at the tennis ball in front of her. She is looking at Magdalene. She is looking to conquer Cincinnati. I want to pass the question over to all of you watching right now. How far do you realistically think Alex Eala can go in this unbelievably stacked Cincinnati draw? Do you think the momentum from Washington will carry her past the likes of Noskova and Pegula? Or do you think the sheer physical fatigue of the last few weeks will catch up to her? And perhaps the more strategic question, would you rather see her win Cincinnati or take an early rest to ensure she is at 100% peak physical condition to make a historic, deep run at the U.S. Open in New York? Get down in the comments section right now and let me hear your thoughts, your predictions, and your messages of support for Alex. I will be reading through them and interacting with you guys down there. If you enjoyed this deep dive analysis and want to stay completely up to date with Alex Eala's historic run, the U.S. Open, and everything else happening in the world of tennis, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notification bells so you never miss an update. The North American hardcourt swing is heating up. History is being written right before our very eyes, and we're going to be here to cover every single thrilling baseline rally, every massive upset, and every single moment of Alex Eala's incredible journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep supporting great tennis, and I will see all of you in the very next update.